DSPN, the Devlin Sports Podcast Network.
DSPN. We have a daily podcast, a highlights show looking back at the major sports headlines, about 45 or 50 minutes, and it's put out every afternoon on the YouTube channel. Just search DSPN. You're probably watching on that at the moment. If you are and you like what you're looking at and what you're listening to, hit the subscribe button, leave us a comment. We'll try as much as possible to answer as many as possible. We're also all over social media, Martin Devlin _DSPN. Today, Martin Guptill joining us. Super Smash on. Marty's not playing today. Auckland are, though, against Otago, and it's a bit of a must-win for Auckland. We're kind of like, how do I say this, maybe 10 days away from the playoffs, and top three teams go, 3 and 2 play, and of course, you know, the winner of that goes to the number one who hosts the final. And so Auckland probably need you today, mate. How come you're not playing?
Another slight injury. So that's the reason I'm not playing today. It's a bit frustrating because, we started to get a little bit of momentum in that last game. So, it's a frustrating time to get it leading into the finals. But, it's just part of sport, unfortunately.
What is the injury?
It's another tweak of my hamstring. It's not a tear or anything like that, just a slight strain. But with a few things coming up over the next couple of months, I need to get it right before going to those. So very frustrating.
At your age and stage, how long does it take to actually get over that? Because those are tricky little injuries, hamstrings.
Yeah, and they vary. I mean, every injury is different. Sorry, I just got my daughter coming in here.
That's okay.
That's nice. Yeah, everybody's different and everybody heals differently. So hopefully this one only takes sort of 10 days to 2 weeks. But that's fingers crossed. We should be right for that. I mean, I took 2 games off previously for a summer thing, only last week. So, and that sort of came right, but just didn't have enough endurance under the belt. So it just need to, do it for a long period.
I was going to ask if you've had it before, yeah, and you have, yeah.
Oh, yeah, many times over my career, as you probably know, Marty.
Yep. And especially the form that you're in. I love that, 6 sixes at the Basin Reserve, and Wellington's a happy hunting ground for you, isn't it? Because we all remember 237 not out and a couple on the roof of the cake tin that nobody had actually hit before. So what is it about Wellington you love so much?
Well, funnily enough, I haven't scored too many runs at the Basin over my career, so nice to get, a decent contribution in that game. And the main part was, the big partnership at the top of the order there. So it's so my son's coming in now to say hi.
Okay.
It's all about the contributions that we can bring in and
he looks like mum.
As senior players and help the young guys. Keno hasn't done a whole lot of opening in his career. Only really this campaign he's sort of started. So to be able to put up a good partnership with him and break a record at the same time was pretty cool to do.
Mum's away at the moment, people, so that's why Marty's on parent duty.
I'm solo parenting.
So, with the experience that you've had and looking at this Super Smash competition, you're in a great position at the moment, aren't you? Because you can really look at who's coming through. Does it excite you? Are you looking at a bunch of players and a bunch of talent that you think, New Zealand cricket's going to be well served over the next years?
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of talent flying around. Previously I haven't had a lot of, exposure to these young guys over the last couple of years. So to be able to see it firsthand is pretty special, and there's some serious talent coming through.
Hey Harley, can you do us a favour? Can you take your brother, just take him out of the room and get him a drink from the fridge or something like that, just for 5 minutes while Dad's talking? Is that okay?
Yeah, sorry about that, mate.
No, don't be sorry. Never be sorry about the children, mate. I love the children, but I just wanted to make it easier for you there because I know that, they might. Just a quick story, just to interrupt our cricket chat here, people. Our 2 sons, mine and my ex-wife's 2 sons, they had it planned, mate. Every time we go to the supermarket when they're about the same age, one would run that way, one would run that way, and they know that Dad can't yell at them in the supermarket. It just used to infuriate me. So they know that you're stuck in front of the screen. Martin, you're officially retired from international cricket a week or so ago, and it made big headlines. Had you retired before? I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be a dick about this, but I already thought that you had retired from international cricket.
Okay, after I finish this little bit, okay. I had retired, yeah, just there was no formal announcement about it or anything like that. So in my eyes, I've been retired for about 18 months. This is New Zealand cricket wanted to do something for me at that ODI in Auckland, and present me with something to congratulate me on my career. So that was the reasoning for that.
How do you feel about that? I know that you always look slightly uncomfortable when you get that kind of attention.
Yeah, it's very uncomfortable, as you said. So but it was nice. I mean, it was a nice day. And okay, I have to finish this first. Okay, go. Yeah, like when the attention's all on you and things, it is. I was extremely nervous leading, on the way there and things like that. So, but once I got there and, saw a few people and things like that, I started to calm down a bit. But no, it was a really cool day.
Look, it's just appreciation is what it is. And I hope that, you really felt that because you've, done some fantastic things during your career that have delighted people. And that's all it is. It's just an expression of that. It's just more of a thank you, I think, is a long-winded way of saying it.
Yeah, pretty much. And as I look back, I guess, reflect on my career, all those moments in time are just they happen so fast and they're so minimal. And there's, as a batter, have all these things that you remember back on, but, you got to switch on for the next ball. So there's sort of everything's gone in an instant. And then you got to move on to what's coming next. So, yeah, it's a really weird way to look at it. But when you do sit back and actually reflect on it, it's, I'm very, very proud and very privileged that it all happened.
That explains a lot, and it's a really good way of explaining it as well, because here on this side of the microphone, we always want, to ask kind of questions of, okay, what's the biggest special, who's the fastest, all of these things. But it is. You're still playing, so it is actually forward for you and forward focus for you. And I suppose it's when you actually get the time, when it all ends, that you will be able to sit back and actually take a big breath and go, wow, I was there, I was part of this, I did that.
Yeah, absolutely. And it is pretty special, especially probably the last, I want to say, 10 years or so of the career where it was, that was probably this more special time. We played some really amazing cricket in that last 10 years. I mean, yeah. I'm not taking anything away from the first part of the career, but the way the team turned around and we played, we got to 2 World Cup finals in a row, a T20 World Cup final, in that last sort of 7-8 years of my career. So that was pretty special to be a part of. And, I guess to create a legacy, with all the other guys in the team was, special to be a part of.
Could you have played international white ball cricket over the last couple of years? Because the way that you're hitting the ball now, the answer is an obvious yes.
I feel like I definitely could have. My body's still going pretty strong, albeit with the couple of niggles that I've had in the last little while. I've been, working pretty hard to try and stay on the park. So the way I'm hitting the ball, yeah, I mean, form always comes and goes and things like that, but I feel like I'm able to get through those tougher periods and still put up scores on the board and help the team to get into some strong positions. Were
you told that you're just not going to be selected? Your time was over? What?
I've got to think back now. I got told that I wasn't being selected for what was in the Indian tour ODIs coming to New Zealand. So it was a little bit disappointing. Obviously, then to be left out of the team, especially at that point in time, I was a leading run scorer in ODI cricket for New Zealand on that year in 2022, which is pretty, very disappointing that I was still putting numbers on the board and being overlooked. So,
did you have any conversations with the selectors between that time and now? Has anyone rung you or talked to you about it or anything?
The last correspondence I guess I had was that I wasn't being picked in the ODI World Cup team for 2023. And then, since then, nothing else.
Take us back to 2019. Have you ever watched any replays of any of that one-day final?
Not intentionally.
Okay. So,
right, stuff that pops up over social media.
Sure, I understand. Yeah. Do you, and again, I suppose you're going to reflect. I mean, you would have thought about it a million times. That last, it was just such a wild game of cricket, wasn't it? Everything that could have happened. And then the most bizarre things that could have happened all happened in that game. And straight away, my mind goes to you, a great throw back to the wicket, but it hits a bat and goes for 4. God, that's never happened since in cricket, mate.
No, tell me about it. I just seemed to be at the forefront of everything that sort of happened in that, I guess, that game and all those key moments. And it's just a strange day of cricket. And mind you, it was probably one of the best games of ODI cricket in history, especially, for World Cups as well. So, man, I mean, to be part of it was pretty special. And then to tie the game and still not come away with anything was a little bit disappointing.
Well, more than that, these are the margins, aren't there? Of being able to call yourself a world champion and not. And I look at our White Ferns, who last year had the worst run of any New Zealand sporting side, losing 11 in a row, go to a World Cup, lose a game at a World Cup, and still actually win a world title. And so that's how big those margins are, man.
Yeah, it's a funny game, this cricket, isn't it? You can have a terrible run in, but you hit a tournament like that and you gain a little bit of momentum, and it's a different story. So White Ferns played really, really well. I managed to catch quite a few of their games while I was in India, while that tournament was on. So it was great watching, and well done to them. It was proud to be New Zealander when they lifted that trophy.
What happened to the red ball? Because I always wanted you to open the batting for us in test matches. And, you had a few chances in that. And I remember that West Indies one. God, if I could take that shot back when you were going to hit a century for the next day you've come out. I mean, they're just moments, weren't there? What in your mind happened? Why you didn't keep playing red ball cricket for New Zealand?
Yeah, I played 47 tests
That's
in my career.
Fair few.
It's quite a few.
Mm.
Look, just sometimes things work and sometimes don't. Had my time again, I'd probably play a bit more like I did for Auckland after I got dropped from the test team, and a little bit more positive in what I was doing. But look, I gave it my all for New Zealand and the Whites. Tried my hardest every game I was out there, and unfortunately it just didn't quite work.
It's a game that I was told, I can't remember who said to me, it was a while back, that it's a game that is measured so much in failure, isn't it? Like, even every time you go out, I mean, the batsman never goes out with a big smile on his face, trudges back to the thing. Is that how it has always been for you?
Well, I guess as bad as you fail, I think there's a stat something like 60% of the time. So, it's pretty outrageous if you look at it that way. But, the guys that are, have those amazing records, they're able to, I guess, eke out runs and eke out ways to score runs a lot more consistently than everybody else.
Your perspective on the series win in India for the Black Caps. Even now, when you say it, 3-0 in India, wow. Yeah,
pretty wild. If I'm being honest, I didn't watch too much of it. But, yeah, I mean, I don't think anybody would have thought that could happen. I mean, if you look at their last few series when we've gone to India, it's all been one-way traffic towards India. So we got on the right side of a couple of tosses, and the guys, hats off to them, played extremely well in foreign conditions to be able to pull off 3-0 series win.
All right, a couple of quick questions. I'll let you get out of here because obviously you've got distractions going on. So are you going to be able to play if Auckland make those playoff games not this weekend but the next weekend, in your own mind now with your hammy?
Fingers crossed. I'm looking towards that. There's a few games of cricket to be played before that, and Auckland needs to play some really good cricket to be able to make it, and maybe even a couple of results go our way in other games as well. But fingers crossed that I'll be ready to go.
And it's not the end of you either. So what happens next? You did say you got a couple of other tournaments coming up.
Yeah, I've got one in India next month, which is a new one that's starting up. So trying to get right for that, so make sure that I don't sort of break down again in that tournament. So hopefully all the stars align and everything goes well.
How much longer are you going to keep playing for?
As long as I can, really. Try and hold on to it. There's all these Legends Leagues and things like that. Guys retired from international cricket that can still play and over in India. So, try and hold on to those for as long as I can.
Just a physical question, just in terms of your eyes. I don't know whether you've had eye surgery, whether you wear contacts or anything else. Over time as you age, do you still see the ball as well as you ever have?
Some days, yeah, definitely.
Well, you can tell the way you're hitting it out of the ground. Yeah.
But like at the moment, I feel like I'm seeing the ball pretty well, and I'm still reacting reasonably quickly to the ball, which is, all you can ask for as a batter. And, just got to get back on the park and score some more runs.
You could be playing at 40. Is that what you're saying?
Well, who knows? Maybe Laura won't let me do that. But, look, you never say never. As long as my body keeps, going and, I can keep pushing through and hopefully scoring more runs, then who knows what can happen.
Mate, you know how much of a fanboy and a supporter I've been of you over the years. I love your family, mate, and just as a cricket numpty and a fan, I just want to express how much gratitude watching you play for New Zealand the many times that you have, and just your attitude, just your general demeanour, the pride that you obviously have. you're just such a good, honest bastard of a bloke, mate, and it's just been awesome watching you play, and more power to you.
Thanks very much, mate. I appreciate it, mate.
DSPN.